Hey guys, chesypoof here, and I figured I'd give you some of my thoughts and impressions on the CirclePad Pro for the 3DS. So basically I've had about a week or so to use it, and I figured I'd wait that long to at least give it all the time that I thought was necessary, that I could give a cohesive review about it instead of just initial impressions and that kind of stuff. So far, everything that I have to say about it is great. The 3DS by itself has been the first system in a long time for me that I honestly felt was a little too small. Usually they have these small little bumps on the bottom corners there, and those will dig into my hands, and I mean it looks very small in my hands. Maybe that was just getting accustomed to the DSi XL, but the system itself just seemed very, very small. Not in a bad way. I mean, especially the graphics, of course, look amazing on it and things like that. But that's just personal preference there. So what happens, you can see there, this is the actual CirclePad Pro. So it's just a stick. It's just a hunk of plastic, basically. It's got a few extra buttons on the top there. And then this is just the IR sensor, so it's just infrared, and that's what actually connects it to the system. It's got a little battery in there, AAA. It says up to 480 hours per battery, which is a lot longer than the 3DS's battery actually works, but it doesn't take any power from the system itself, and so far I haven't had any trouble with it. Granted, I've only had a week to work with it, so it'd be bad if the battery already died, but of course it's running pretty smoothly. I've got to play a good amount of Resident Evil Revelations and the Metal Gear Solid 3 demo. But the main thing that people are going to end up complaining about this is they know that Nintendo's going to release some kind of upgrade to it, like a 3DS Lite that'll have the second stick installed and all the extra functions, but even though it's gigantic, I really like it. From what you'll see here, when you open it up, it's all on the same plane, so you have both of the analog sticks, you have all the buttons there, right back on there, and it feels really smooth and responsive, and just the way that it actually feels holding it is a lot better than the 3DS was by itself. Basically, it's got like a little outline. It almost looks like a GameCube remote. It's got those nice rounded edges, and it feels really nice in your hand. You automatically end up pushing the triggers basically with your thumbs, and same goes for the other side, except for one's on the system and the other's the trigger. The other side, it has two buttons, but one replaces the one that's inside that might be too far to reach. So that's just an R button, and the ZR is what they call it, but I just call it right trigger, right bumper. I guess too much 360. But the gameplay itself feels really nice, so I'll just show you walking around a little bit on Resident Evil, I guess. If you ever need the stylus, you can't use it at all, and of course the bulk is pretty big, but for everything else, I think it makes it so much better to hold. The screens, of course, are amazing, especially with the Vita coming out tomorrow. You'll end up getting to see a little bit of that as well, but basically a lot of the graphics on this, I think, are PS2 GameCube quality as well. So I'm not actually going to really show too much of the gameplay because that's not what this one's about. See, it ends up checking for the CirclePad, and then it says, oh, okay, it's been recognized, so we'll go ahead and use that. So what you can see there is I'm moving with the left stick, and then I end up having the whole camera with the right. On this game, you have to hold the left trigger to get in the first person mode to shoot, and it works pretty well with moving it. So then you can see the other buttons up here. Bang! freaking, it's like you're literally playing one of the games, of course, on the current generation consoles. And see, hey, I'm just gonna look at the chick that's walking around me. And it feels so good in the hands. But I figured I would share that with you guys so you can see it actually in action and all of that kind of stuff. Ooh, look at the camera. All I'm moving is this random stick. So I mean, it works. You can see the bulk, of course, and the size of it. I've been keeping it in my little exclusive Club Nintendo case. There it is. So it was a gigantic pouch. It was basically meant for all the different DS's. I used it just for my 3DS because I didn't end up getting one of the plastic kind of cases that at least cover it like I should have so far. And when the 3DS by itself is in the case, which is super small, it basically doesn't take up any of it at all, you know. You can end up folding it in two, but I've been carrying that around so that I had other games and things like that with me. And then putting it inside the CirclePad Pro, and this is of course what's going to be the biggest drawback for most people, is just the actual, even in this gigantic case, there's almost no room. So you're not going to be able to really carry it around in your pocket. Of course, not all games accept it, so that's another drawback. The ones that it's actually made for make it that much better. Resident Evil feels just as great as playing it on the PlayStation 1, playing it on the Dreamcast, playing it on the GameCube, all of that fun stuff on the 360 even. So it makes it very nice. Of course, that last time it looks like I just randomly threw it in backwards. That's why I thought it was weird, because that's just for the microphone. But overall, at $20, just to make the games that support it play even better, I think is a worthy investment, especially since I got my 3DS at launch. When they end up coming out with a new model that has all the features put in, will I buy it? It depends. If it ends up having this kind of a contour that makes you feel like you're actually holding a control, you know, that gun style holding, it's possible, but without it, I might as well stay bulky right here. Even though it's a bit bigger, I give a thumbs up all the time. So that's my initial reviews of it. You can discuss, of course, there's probably going to be a lot of hate. Oh my god, it's so fucking huge. But that's just my opinions, and we can have a discussion about it if you want. See you guys later.